Hello, friends. Monday motivation once again, and I hope you're doing really well. We're coming up here. Spring break time starts to show up for people. I think as we get into March and April, being from Georgia, it's a little different. Our spring break is always around Masters, the Masters golf tournament. Masters week for basically all over the state is the spring break, which I think is much later than a lot of you. I remember when I was growing up, the MTV Spring Break week and all the stuff that would come on that was always like a month before our spring break. So I think we're getting into spring break for some of you. Hopefully that's all going well. As we enter the spring, the Ides of March, and things start to get hectic and more busy, and those of you who have kids, you're pushing toward the end of the school year, or college, you're moving toward that, you're getting ready for summer, all those things. I think a good word to talk about is peace. Peace. Definition of peace: freedom from disturbance, tranquility. Now, there's a lot of other words in that we could use one time, but freedom from disturbance or tranquility. Now, I would say peace a lot of times is a choice. You can choose to have peace. A lot of times it's not, but a lot of times it is. Let's talk about the quote. It comes from Einstein, Albert Einstein. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. You cannot forcibly take peace. You cannot demand peace. That in and of itself is removing peace. It can only be achieved by understanding. Now, what does that mean? There are things that we encounter in our life that we need to be at peace with, that we need to be tranquil with. Things that are hard. There are things in your work that bother you every day, that frustrate you at school, with your family, whatever it is. There's things you encounter every day that, if it was up to you, it would be different. But you have to have peace. You have to grow in understanding. I cannot control this. It is not a thing that is destroying my life. Therefore, I'm going to find a way to be at peace with it. It's going to happen. I can't change it. It doesn't really impact me unless I choose to let it impact me. So I'm going to just try to get to a place of understanding. You hear that a lot in relationship disagreements especially. Try to understand each other. Try to reach a level of understanding. That usually means common ground, neutral, a truce. That's where that word is being used. It also means peace. Find a way to be at peace with each other. The other side of peace is actual, still, quiet peace. I need some peace and quiet. This house is too loud. I believe peace and quiet is a very important part of our life that we all shortchange, especially in the age of this, our phone, whatever devices you have, watch, all the time. You have something alerting you, buzzing you, turning a screen on, whatever the case is. If you're on multiple social medias, it's endless. You probably always have a notification every minute of the day. You're never truly at peace. And this year, one of the things I have tried to do better this year is take peace. One of the cool things that the Apple Watch does that a lot of people turn off, and I wish they wouldn't, is it will remind you several times a day, I think never more than 3 or 4 minutes a day, to take a moment and breathe. Breathe in deeply, meditate. Don't worry about anything else. It taps you on your wrists. You don't have to look at it. It lets you know when to breathe in and breathe out. And just be at peace. And you'd be amazed at how your pulse lowers when you do that. And how your mind becomes at ease. And I'm doing it every single day. I'm doing it now. I do it especially right before I'm going to read, do devotion, journaling, those types of things that I do every day. I always have the moments of peace right before it to try to cleanse myself of all the things that I've been thinking about, that I've been frustrated about, whatever the case may be, and just get my mind blank so that I can then receive what it is that I'm trying to receive at that moment. I recommend you do that. Don't ignore it. A lot of time. It's trying to help, and it's a good thing if it helps. Peace is a good thing for all of us. I have, if you follow my videos, you know I have a saltwater aquarium. I find a lot of peace in that. Looking at that, I've put a little indoor fountain beside it that has a waterfall. I find a lot of peace in that. Those are like my little tranquility areas. Have separate places in your house, certain seats, certain rooms, that seat is a place of peace for you. That maybe where you go to read your comics, and it's quiet, or it's in the ambiance that you want for that. And maybe where you do your devotion or whatever the case may be, have those areas that are set aside to be peaceful. And I really think you'll find yourself having more patience, we talked about last week, having more hope that we talked about a couple weeks ago, and filling yourself with the good things and letting go some of the bad things. So that's your word for the day. I hope you have a wonderful week. Talk to you next time.